Good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to give you my thoughts on the upcoming election, but more specifically, the dangers of what a Joe Biden victory means for this country and how Joe Biden will absolutely destroy this country and how he will destroy the checks and balances that are currently in place. So first, I wanted to take a look and focus on the censorship that is already happening. And the way I see things is, as a frame of reference, let's take a look at what is already happening with Republicans in control with 2 out of the 3 branches of government. And Republicans are in control of 2 out of 3 branches of government, and we see what's already happening. So I think it is safe to assume that if Republicans were not in control of these 2 branches, say if they were to relinquish control to the Democrats, to one branch, or God forbid both branches, we would see these big tech companies emboldened. They'd be acting way more aggressively because we've seen censorship that we've never seen before. Egregious censorship. The best example of this is what's happened over the past few weeks with the New York Post story, where the New York Post had posted a story about the Hunter Biden scandal. And what happened? Twitter censored the story. Twitter locked the New York Post, the 4th largest publication in the country, was locked out of their account for just over 2 weeks. Access was finally restored just recently. Within the last 24 hours, the New York Post recently regained access to their Twitter account. They were the 4th largest publication in the country. They're a newspaper that's been around for almost 200 years. And Twitter locked them out of their account. What do you think would happen if the Democrats were in charge? You would not be able to say anything bad about the people in power. Twitter wouldn't be censoring your account. They wouldn't just block access to your account. They would delete your account. That'd be the end of it. And they'd go a step further because YouTube, Twitter, Google, Facebook, they are all in bed with the Democrats. And you see how aggressively they have censored information with Republicans in control of 2 out of the 3 branches of government. What happens if Joe Biden were to win? Well, if you have a social media platform where you share dissenting views that are not popular, that are not in favor of the people that would be in power, you will be deleted. You will be scrubbed from the internet. You will have no voice on YouTube. You will have no Twitter. You will have no Facebook. You will have no Instagram. That will be the end of you. It'll be extremely difficult for anyone with dissenting viewpoints to be able to get their word out. And that's what we can expect. We've seen the same thing with Facebook. Right now you go on Facebook and anything bad about Joe Biden, anything that could be perceived as being negative towards the election of Joe Biden has a fact check marker next to it. What happens if Republicans are no longer in charge? Well, let's assume that Facebook, which it's very logically to assume that they will act even more aggressively when they know the people in power are going to take absolutely no action to stop them. So what does that look like? Well, instead of that fact check marker next to any sort of information they don't like, that story just gets deleted. There's no fact check, it's just deleted. And then the source, the person posting that information will also be deleted. So what can we expect? There will be no Ben Shapiro. There will be no Steven Crowder. There's going to be no New York Post. There's going to be no Candace Owens. There's going to be no Jericho Green. All of the most popular conservative voices will be outright deleted from Twitter, from Facebook, from YouTube, from Google, from everywhere. They will be scrubbed from the internet. That's what we can expect. What else can we expect? Well, we've already seen the Democrats want to destroy the checks and balances. They want to have a super legislature. It's pretty clear they want to pack the Supreme Court. So we can absolutely expect them to pack the Supreme Court if Democrats were to win. Another thing that they have thought about as well is adding more states. So let's say they don't have a Senate majority. And of course the Democrats are not okay with compromise. They don't want any compromise. They want total, complete control over our government. So what can we expect? Well, they have already proposed adding new states. You add new states, you would get new senators, they'd be Democrats, and then what ends up happening is the Democrats are able to create a Senate majority if they don't already have one. So that way there is no checks and balances, there is no compromise. They can push through whatever radical leftist politics they'd like to push through. And another thing that we could see them doing, because Joe Biden has already mentioned it, is he wants to bring in 11 million illegal immigrants. And we could expect even more of this. Joe Biden will essentially import voters. It's going to be near impossible when you look at the circumstances. Joe Biden were to win, in addition to the First Amendment being gone, Republicans, I don't think, will have any shot at ever winning election ever again. Because for a few reasons. Number one is any dissenting viewpoints will be censored, so you won't even be allowed to know anything bad that would be happening about that current administration. And then secondly, they're going to import tens of millions of new Democratic voters to ensure that they win all future elections. And then in addition to that, they're going to be indoctrinating all of the children, all of the youth, all over the country in schools. They're going to be feeding them all this liberal propaganda BS. And we could also expect the Democrats to lower the voting age, possibly to 17, possibly to 16. So giving the compounding of these factors, you have children, essentially say 16 years old, freshly indoctrinated, are going to be voted, Democrat voters. Then you have importing millions of illegal immigrants who will most likely vote Democrat, more Democratic voters. And then the censorship of any ideas that say anything bad about the people in charge. It will be damn near impossible for a Republican to win back any sort of significant office if Joe Biden were to get into office. And this would absolutely destroy the checks and balances that are currently in place that protect any one entity, any one group from being able to wield too much power over this country. And for this reason, Joe Biden cannot get elected. We cannot afford to have a Joe Biden victory on November 3rd because he will destroy the country. You will have no checks and balances. You will have no free speech. And whatever agenda they want, they will be able to push through without any resistance at all. And we've already seen some of the policies that they're proposing. They want to implement critical race theory all throughout the country. Race wars are going to be heightened. They're going to be inflamed. It will destroy this country. There's going to be identity politics like we've never even seen before. And they'll probably use this as another reason to pack the Supreme Court. We've already heard Kamala Harris say, well, Donald Trump didn't elect any black judges. So they'll probably use this as a reason. Okay, well, we need to expand the Supreme Court and we need to fill these seats with black judges. Why? Because the Supreme Court is systemically racist. And this is what we can expect from Biden administration. There will be no free speech. There will be no checks and balances. There will be no dissenting viewpoints. And for these reasons, like I said, we cannot afford to have a Joe Biden victory come November 3rd. So to everyone who is watching this, please, I plead with you that you go out and you vote. We need to have 4 more years of Donald Trump in the White House. We cannot afford to have a Joe Biden victory because it will absolutely destroy this country. That's my video. I hope you like it. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe, and I will see you all next time.